Ooh,
Did you just
you
die?
killed me. Yeah, you got me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not actually sorry. I was happy to kill you. I did it semi-intentionally. It was sort of like a happy accident. I'm definitely
Well,
like chaotic evil in alignment. What's
wasn't
the worst evil?
the worst evil?
It's not
I
chaotic evil, right? Like what is Mitch McConnell?
Would he be lawful evil?
I think he'd be like, well,
I think
what
he's
the hell does
neutral
not
evil.
lawful evil even mean?
Like cops are lawful evil, right? All cops are lawful evil.
Yeah, but they break the
A
law though,
C
right?
A L E.
Yeah. So, but you still think that somebody actually said book the Four Seasons, and yeah,
Absolutely. Because
okay,
like of all the places you could go off all the on ramps in the world, why would you choose the Four Seasons Total Lawn Care Center?
yeah.
There's no explanation. Uh, Honestly, it was a beautiful thing. I'm really glad that that happened to us on Saturday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I share my favorite tweet about the experience?
Yes, we're moving over to development view. Yeah. Oh, nice. Love it. Um, I think along those lines, I was on I was on Facebook, not Twitter, and one of my old friends uh, basically put this post. I think it was on Saturday, which is like, "This is the feeling I have right now," and then posted the end of The Graduate. Do you know that movie, The Graduate? Also, the end of Wayne's World 2. Yeah, also the end of Wayne's World 2, for that matter. Yeah, where Dustin Hoffman and Mrs. Robinson's daughter like essentially abscond from her wedding out of the church, and they're giddy with excitement. They're running through the streets. They jump onto a school bus, and they're laughing their asses off, and sitting in the backseat of the bus. But then it kind of slowly dawns on them what the reality actually is, and it's really well acted, right? You can see their smiles kind of peel away from their faces, um, and then like Simon and Garfunkel's "Sound of Silence" it comes on. Yeah, that's basically what it was. Because it was like, all right, let's get this fucker out of office. And then it was like, oh shit, Joe Biden's the president. Hmm. Ugh, tricky, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. I think your audio is still dead. Um, well, what it is that no, it's not your mic. It's on my
Uh,
side.
okay, yeah.
Here we go. What it is that OBS for some reason um, attaches to the default device,
Mm-hmm.
and I think basically it's just out of sync from what I have set on my computer. I don't actually know what the explanation is. Basically, like when we first started the Zoom call, you were coming in through my sound bar.
Hmm.
I switched over the headphones. OBS didn't like it. I'm sorry.
Weird.
Yeah.
No, you're good. Uh, it happens.
Yeah.
I I'll just complain about Windows audio routing again. I
Okay.
wish
It's
I
bad.
wish it's bad. Yeah, I wish that Rogue Amoeba company made a Windows version of their thing because their thing is really good.
It's pretty darn awesome, right?
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sad we don't get to use it for this project anymore.
Yeah.
But it means I can safely upgrade to Mac OS, whatever, 11 tomorrow.
Oh, that's tomorrow.
They're announcing like the ARM Max, and I feel like it's the only software update they haven't officially released, so it's probably tomorrow.
That's right. Yeah, we had to scramble to get like the like the ARM 64 build of Slack together.
Oh yeah, I bet, huh?
Apple
Wow.
really they definitely are we're just gonna release our shit, and you better get your act together to like their whole developer community, right?
Basically, yeah. But also you don't need to give them an ARM build. They're like doing like Intel emulation and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. There's the whole Rosetta
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, which apparently works as good as the current laptops. Sounds freaky, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical about that. I actually just realized that the page size for the Apple Silicon Macs is 16K, where it's always been 4K on Intel for the longest time.
Oh.
Which is weird and actually surprising to me
Hmm.
that any software works through the translation layer, just because like so much depends on the page size. Like there's so many like memory buffers and things like that that you create on in your programs that are just like
Yeah,
locked
that's
to whatever the
wild.
OS page size is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super interesting. I didn't. Did you find that out from people working on it this week?
Yeah, that's what I heard, and I think they just fixed something about the Rosetta code to figure that out. Anyways,
Wild. Okay.
I'm speaking a little bit out of my depth at this point, but
Yeah.
I
Well,
was surprised to hear that it was different and that things actually worked.
when it sounds like we'll get to experience all the weirdness starting tomorrow. So
Are you
yeah,
in line for a new laptop already?
I am. I'm still using my MacBook Pro. That was my first computer at Chain
Okay.
4 years ago. That I just got to keep after that company went under. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's a 2016 MacBook Pro. It's the first one with the touch bar thing.
Yep.
It's old. Part of the rubber that keeps the screen closed, it like just fell off yesterday. And I was like, okay, like the rubber dried out. This thing is old. It's probably time.
I remember being on the plane back from Vegas or on the way to Vegas, sitting next to Adam, and he was making fun of himself basically because I think it was right around the time that the MacBook Pro's Touch Bar Max came out,
Mhm.
but it was like the day before, and he was on the Apple he was on Apple.com like looking
Mhm.
at the specs of what were basically the old laptops, but in his own head he was like, wow, look at these specs, amazing. And then it dawned on him that it was like the older laptops. So the marketing is strong.
Oh my god, I can
Yeah,
extremely imagine that happening.
yeah, totally.
It's a real hot
And
topic
when
out
does
there.
PS5 come out? You're gonna get like an Apple Silicon Mac and a PS5 in your hot little hand soon.
Well, PS5 comes out on Thursday, but like, I don't know how I'm gonna get one.
It's gonna be kind of dodgy, right?
Yeah, well, the pre-orders sold out before I even knew their pre-order started. So,
Right.
if I can buy one, I'll buy one, and if I can't, like,
What would be the maximum eBay premium you'd be willing to pay for a PS5?
oh, is it $0? Yeah, yeah, it's like a piece of consumer electronics that they're gonna print like 200 million of. I'm like, I'll get one eventually. I
Really?
would have.
So you're saying that if there was a PS5 available for, okay, with tax, it's gonna be what? It's $600, right? Or
500.
$500. 500
Yeah.
bucks. Tack on the 10% California sales tax. $550.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that if there was a PS5 available on eBay for $551, you would not pull the trigger on that?
I would maybe pull the trigger on that. Yeah, there's like a $1 finder's fee. Sure.
$552. Let's keep playing this game.
You said 600. I was like, that sounds reasonable. So I'll go all the way up to 600.
All the way to 600. So you would pay the extra $50. We're counting the tax here, basically.
Yeah. Whoever wrote the bot that scraped the website that grabbed the pre-order, you know what? Pay software developers for their work.
$50. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, people are really impressed by Astro's Playroom. Have you been reading the reviews?
I saw that. Yeah, it sounds. I mean, I thought they really did a nice job, sort of like rolling out that controller reveal fairly gradually.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a really cool piece of hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely. I'm excited to play on it. It sounds like it'll make a nice addition to like most games I play. I don't know. Rumble hasn't changed in a while, and neither has like buttons. So good on them for trying something Nintendo like.
XB1 had adaptive triggers, did it not?
It has. It's a different thing.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Or is it just rumble in the triggers?
It's rumble in the triggers. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like the triggers vibrate, but they don't push force back at you.
Okay, got it. Or it doesn't become harder to pull them or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't apply force, but they do like rumble as you pull them down, which maybe feels similar, but like is a totally different mechanical process.
Right.
But yeah, like if I hadn't like seen a diagram of the machinery, like I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
I've never felt either, so.
I actually, you and I were talking about Ghost of Tsushima over the weekend because I started playing it again, and not again for the first time. And I wouldn't mind playing that on a PS5, to be honest. Like, there's some weird shit going on with the graphics in that game. I don't know if this happened to you, but like, I have a 4K HDR TV. Nothing super fancy. I got it like a year ago for like $500. It wasn't like anything crazy.
I think I have a very similar TV, but 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. I got the whatever Wirecutter told me to buy, basically. And I'm getting what appears to be HDR banding on it. So occasionally you'll see like this like strip of darker pixels flicker on and flicker off.
Weird.
Which is really weird. I haven't seen that in any other game, and I thought maybe it was strange. I turn HDR off and it goes away, but then it looks like garbage, the game. So
I have so much trouble with HDR because I really want to be able to flip a switch on and off and see the difference. But everything that does it is like, we're going to like turn your entire screen off to like toggle whatever hardware is doing this. I'm just like, I forgot what the picture looked like a second ago. Like,
yeah,
you're not selling me on it unless you can show me how cool it looks. And I can't remember how bad it looked, which feels really dumb to me, but like.
So you're a photographer. What would be the kind of like explain like I'm five like way of describing what HDR actually is?
I mean, well, it's interesting because I think the thing that was called HDR photography and the thing that is HDR displays are like subtly two different things.
Okay, right.
Because HDR photography is like you're taking, like I'm taking a photograph that, like I'm photographing you in front of the sky. I would expose for your face, but the sky could be totally white because that's just sort of like, that's where the exposure is, and the sun is a very bright object. But if I also took a second photograph of the sky exposed for like blue sky and clouds and to get that nice tone in there, and then smash them together so you could see both at the same time, it becomes closer to like what our eyes do essentially. Like I can both look at you on a sunny day and see that the sky is blue. And that's like, I think the good use of HDR. Sometimes people use it to like pull unnatural colors into scenes.
Yes. Yeah. So you're saying in photography, is it basically taking multiple exposures and stitching them together?
Yeah, and it's like the high dynamic range of the photograph is the fact that you can get like from a face and shadows from like a nose that would be total black if you, or like, yeah, they'd be total black if you exposed for the sky because the face would be really dark. So you've extended the range of the exposure is how I understand it for photography.
And so what are our brains doing then? Like you're saying that like we basically see in HDR or we comprehend visual reality in HDR. Is it that our brain is assigning an exposure value to certain areas of our visual field and then basically changing the color of it?
Dude, that's a really good question. Well, and I don't know. I wonder if our the rods and cones that get hit actually like, I don't know, your pupil's only doing one thing and the rods and cones aren't really moving around. So yeah, perhaps our eyes are more sensitive than like an SLR sensor and can actually like take in that data and the brain just like, sort of like flattens it out into something that looks like reality to you.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
Okay, so we're jumping ahead a little bit to the realm of graphics. I don't know if we'll get to HDR with a wireframe rendering or anything like that, but then like, based on what we've talked about, what is the distinction between photography HDR and computer rendering HDR?
Yeah, I tried to like, when I saw HDR TV, I guess it was pitched to me as the TV has a mode where it will display a wider range of brightness to you. Like it'll display brighter whites and deeper blacks at the same time.
Yeah.
But I kind of don't understand because I'm just like, why were you not doing that before? Why is this HDR and not just we displayed the correct color?
Right.
And I guess it's actually like a deeper color map Like it's 24-bit color instead of 8-bit color or something.
Got it. Is there something about the signal that needs to change as well? Like presumably you can turn HDR on or off in a video game, for example.
Yeah, I think the other thing is that it actually might be. I think I'm recalling that it actually like adds a luminance channel to the video signal. So you have like red, green, blue, and luminosity. So you can have pixels be brighter and darker instead of like every red being red. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
But then presumably though it is doing some kind of color compression where I guess what you trade off with HDR is that maybe colors of similar brightness are actually going to be compressed into a smaller range than they normally would be, so that you can see the full range of colors across all the brights and darks that you're seeing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're essentially like bringing darker things, you're making darker things brighter and lighter things darker, right? In order to get like a larger range.
I think I think that's maybe what the difference is that the TVs let you control the brightness of those pixels in a way that you don't have to make the brighter things darker and the darker things lighter, but actually they let them, you have a wider range of brightness accessible to you to show. I don't know, man.
Yeah, actually I think it might be the opposite of what I said, which is that there are certain ranges of color. Well, the idea is that like, again, like if you had like a particular exposure, then everything in the shadows, for example, would just appear to you to be black, right?
Right.
But what you really want to be able to do is to show the variations of the gradations between like, well, it's darker here, but like I still want to show all the contrast between the stuff that would be dark here. And so I'm actually expanding the range of colors in a narrower range of brightness or something like that, right?
Right. Yeah, and like it makes me wonder, like the problem is like I can't tell, like, is my HDR TV good at HDR? Is it like a mediocre HDR TV that I got when it wasn't really a big technology?
Right.
And I find it such a hard thing to measure, and everyone's like really into it. But I'm just like, and like, yeah, perhaps it's my hardware.
Yeah.
Like perhaps with different hardware, I'll just be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah. I feel like TVs and maybe to a lesser degree monitors are definitely like the kind of purchase where you can totally geek out about things that are completely irrelevant to your quality of life and then go insane as a result, right?
Yeah. Well, and man, I bought my TV sort of like when I moved apartments, and I used to be like projector guy. I was
really?
a big, yeah. Oh man, like because you'd have like this 130-inch screen in front of your couch, and it was super dope.
Yeah.
So
what turned you off of that?
Oh, I got an apartment that had no projectorable wall on it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, there's our entertainment room has like a fan in the middle of the room and a window on one side and like a small wall on the other. And there was nowhere to hang a projector and get a clear picture. I was just like, well, I guess I'm buying a TV now. So I kind of just like impulse purchased the most reasonable looking TV I could find, and I kind of regretted it ever since. I'm just like, I should have geeked out and maybe spent $500 more on this because like I've had to keep it.
Yeah. So I think next time we talk, you're gonna have like a 8K, 144 hertz, 70-inch God display, right? You're gonna have one of those displays where like you can like do telepresence with Japan, and you can see
those are really cool.
Yeah, you can see like microgradations in people's like behavior and stuff to the point that like you can read their body language or something, right?
And it's really weird to me, like, why is our video chat, why is it not higher quality at this point? I feel like video chat has been at the exact same level of like fuzziness for like 6 years.
Okay, you're talking about like sharpness in particular. So it's a resolution essentially.
I guess it's resolution. I think part of it is that webcams actually kind of got stuck between 720 and 1080p, but also I feel like Zoom also smashes everyone's signal down into like kind of mud, when in fact I'd really love to see the high quality, like burn my bandwidth. I'm having a meeting.
Right.
Yeah. You got to pay the big bucks to Cisco.
There is apparently performance gains to be had in video chat. I guess a lot of it is I don't know if it's Wi-Fi or just like the N levels of abstraction in the OS that you have to that you have to hack through. But I think someone's done like the physics study of it. Like, okay, these are this many bits that we need to send over this amount
Oh,
in order to get
interesting.
this latency. And apparently, there's a lot of room for improvement.
Hmm.
If only we got rid of all the other bullshit, you know.
Well, I was gonna say, like, we're sending a very nice picture of my screen to Twitch right now with all the pixels intact.
Yeah.
But like for some reason, video chats between two people always look blurry as heck. So yeah. I think FaceTime does a good job, but it's probably because it can depend on specific hardware encodings to exist.
That's interesting because I always thought FaceTime looked really good.
Yeah, I think it looks particularly good, and I think it's because it doesn't use software encoding. It actually can be like, I'm going to go use like the actual camera piece of hardware that I know about.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about peak performance. Our game is cooking right now. It's like 60 FPS
server
locked, 30 FPS render.
It's just been going.
Yeah, it's been just chugging along happily.
Yeah, I mean it could be happier right around here. I got too many turrets on the screen, but like, yeah, I feel super good about this. I'd be definitely willing to like put a pin in the asynchronous stuff for a minute and say like,
oh hey, can we do one thing?
Yeah.
Can we rotate the turret with the cursor? Do you think that would be a crazy thing to do? Because that's been broken for a while, right?
Right, because it only goes where you shoot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you think this is prediction only? So it's like only in the client side?
That is a fascinating thing.
Yeah, because sending over the wire is like some work, but also not.
Let's send it over the wire. Let's send it over the wire because like you might want to see where the other dude is shooting, right?
I do want to see. Yeah, yeah. I want aiming to be. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
But I know where you're going with that. Like the idea that this is only prediction only is actually kind of interesting. How would we do it if it was prediction only?
Well, yeah, it's interesting, right? We've got this client send message. I wonder if we would have a like way to lock a message in for like just ourselves. Like we would send this message, but not to the server. I don't know. We'd have to do a little routing there.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky.
It is. So let's see. Try to remember sort of what's going on with these types. I'm gonna move your face. I was putting your face in the center so I would look at you now. Yeah. Down here.
We just cut all the code that rotated the turret when you move the mouse, right? That's just gone.
That is. Let's see. That should be in the shooter. I don't think it's. It looks pretty gone. Well, it's not. It's just that this is only operating on these messages. And these messages are shoot messages right now.
Got it. Yes.
Yeah.
And we didn't make it like a turn message, right?
No. But I was thinking that actually this could map pretty nicely to the move player message. I guess that's just a direction, but we could also add an orientation key to this. And we do sort of expect this to be sent every frame when you're holding the button down. So like, why not send it every frame when the mouse is moving too and just sort of include that data?
It's going to be sent anytime the relative position of the player and the mouse changes, right? Which is going to be like literally every frame unless you're perfectly moving the mouse or you're just driving up and down. And the mouse is...
Even driving up and down will still be if you're still and not touching it.
I meant driving up and down and then having the cursor directly above or below you.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I was thinking that actually it's pretty reasonable to just like if you're playing the game, this message is getting sent every frame just to move the tank. So why not just stick it in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think if we were to do it,
Is that what you're thinking, or were you gonna put a different?
Well, the thing is that like you can move the turret without moving the tank, right? Like
True. Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well, because we've got this handle move input, and it's not cursor mode, But we do, wow, yeah, shit, we really did delete the thing that sort of oriented the mouse to the player, didn't we? Damn.
Yeah, what is handle attack input?
Handle attack input is the mouse buttons.
But we do get the position right there, like 94, right?
That's true. But I think this is definitely not where I want to. We don't want to send it only on handle attack input, that's for sure.
I think what we could do, if we wanted to network synchronize it, what we would do is we would. Because I think what we were doing was we were sending the mouse position from handle attack input into the shooter system. But
But did this always? I mean, oh wait, that's builder input. Did we always? It wasn't always message based. It was like mouse is down, and so we were orienting the turret, and then if mouse was down in the like global mouse inputs, then the turret would also shoot, or the tank would also shoot.
Yeah, well, I think what it was is we had like a client, a variable on the game that was like, what was the position of the mouse, what was the button clicked or not, and then the shooter system read both of those things, right? And
in fact, it's really just this. Oh, right, and the orientation is a totally different object. Okay. Yep.
So if we wanted to make this totally cosmetic, where would we want to express that? Like, we could do it in the get renderables for the player. Is that where we return?
In these player renderables? Yeah, that's where the gun ends up in the shooter orientation. So it'd be interesting to have this modified, but only for the player.
The nasty thing we could do is just always find the position of the player and find the position of the mouse here and get renderable somehow, right? We'd pass it in or whatever, or we set another global variable, and then we just always set the orientation to that. The problem with that is that if we put the code in here, we'll forget about it, and it'll be totally independent of the shooter or the shooter system as well. And I feel like the shooter system is kind of like its proper home, right?
Yeah, well, it's got to be only one player as well. We can't. We have to know the current player or the client's player ID in this function to make that happen.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
which is not impossible, but also annoying, right?
And then if other tanks are driving but they're not shooting, is it better to just show the cannon moving pointing forward? Do you think that would be another reasonable thing that we could do in terms of prediction?
I think so. Versus the last point it was at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's really hard to make it point forward.
Yeah.
That would actually be just a simple modification right now too. Is just always make it point forward until you shoot.
Oh, you're right. That might be better. But then it'll just snap, right? It'll just like snap. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be weird though if you're going up here and drive by here and then immediately I'm just like bam. It's kind of weird for the person experiencing that on the other side who sees a tank driving by pointed forward and then just like
a snap. Okay, so you actually think that maybe we should be synchronizing this?
I think so.
Okay.
I think especially if we accept just that there already is this cost to the frame by frame movement input, like we might as well. Yeah.
Okay.
And it could be a new message type too. Like we could actually just keep this pretty clean.
It could be tank aim, right? Tank aim, and it's just like the world position of where it's pointing, right?
Yep, I agree. And it's interesting. It's a lot like the shoot message.
Should the maybe it's just the 10K message, and then the 10K message has a boolean on it that says whether you're shooting or not.
Yeah, firing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, really, it can be optional. And then this becomes tank shoot is tank aim. You know what I should have done? I should rename the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that seems.
And I like making firing non-optional. I don't think.
Okay.
I think there probably won't be any situation where we're not going to want to set it explicitly.
Okay. Yeah, it's reasonable. Sweet. Then really, let's. Okay, so we're modifying the shooter pretty frequently. But let's see. Let's actually get 10K. Oh, and then firing. Yeah, of course. This is firing. Let's see.
It's true here.
So it's actually.
Yeah, you're right.
It's this. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. So that's not terrible. But we are going to send it every frame now.
Yep.
And that's okay. What are we fixing me? I don't know. Did I do that? Yeah, you did that, but I don't know what it was.
Oh, yeah, I mean the client should always have a mouse, right? Is that true? It probably used to be game. The game didn't always have a mouse.
Yeah, there's no fix me on this. I'm gonna delete that. I guess the should always have a mouse is not true for the server, so maybe that's why we're checking.
Yeah, but the server I don't think ever gets passed in here. I think we only update the player input system on the clients.
Okay, you know what it was? It might have been our simulated client too, where we did hand it a keyboard. We did a fake keyboard, but not a mouse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this check. It's at least pretty cheap.
Okay.
It'd be nice to bring back the simulated client someday. Actually, nah, it actually kind of sucked. It slowed the game down a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to see my performance go down again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now there are a ton of firing messages going through here. And it's interesting. I would have thought, there we go. Yeah. Cool. That's what I expected. I was like, why isn't it firing as fast as possible? Because we didn't actually teach it to slow down yet.
I think.
Yeah, perfect. Hey. Oh, and it's only snapping on fire. Yep, that makes sense. What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Okay. So we checkpoint that, and we do this.
And so what if we only checkpointed if the angle actually changed within a certain epsilon? Does that make sense?
I love it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, we'll just grab this angle. Right, because if you stop moving the mouse, we really don't need to be doing this. Yeah. If our new angle equals, and then if new angle minus shooter dot orientation, I don't know, less than, do we have a math.epsilon?
We have a math.equal. We have a GL matrix.equals, I think, which does like an epsilon equality.
Oh, cool. Okay. I guess we'll just do if this equals 0.
Or we can just say if they equal each other. It's two values.
Oh. Where the hell is my brain at? Yep, that is pretty reasonable. And also, this is where we will. So this is one place to checkpoint. Interestingly, we also want to checkpoint it here if we make it past this.
Correct, but we can do that. We're allowed to.
We can checkpoint twice, right? Because it just does nothing. Great.
Yep.
Cool. And then this is. Let's see. And message dot firing.
I think one thing we might want to do, and it's going to be a little bit it's going to be a little bit weird.
I don't like this condition.
What if we did this?
Huh?
In line 73, we've got that return there. Maybe line 73 should be lines 62 to 66 plus a return.
So we have a message.
So actually, let's keep new angle there. So let's take line 63 to 66.
So this happens if we're not shooting, though.
I know. But what I want to do, I think what I'm getting at here is that if we're not shooting, we should check to see if the desired orientation is outside some tolerance from the current orientation, which is what which is line 67. So I think line 67, we're missing an exclamation point. So it should be like, if not geomatrix equals.
Oh yeah, there's the first problem.
We reorient, and then we bail. Otherwise,
I think we just also need to do this here. Is that right?
Yes, that was what I was going to say, because basically, I think if we do shoot, we don't want to do just within the tolerance. We actually want to set the we just want to set the orientation exactly, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot nicer.
Yeah, it's a lot slower though.
Is it a lot slower? It hasn't. It's not a lot slower.
Okay, cool. Never mind. I saw the FPS down to like 48, so I thought like.
Oh, it might have just started in the background, or who knows? That looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is also if not message.firing. I really don't like that condition in particular, but.
Well, let's see. If it's not firing. Isn't it if it's not firing or yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Or the rest of the stuff in parentheses, yeah.
But what about this?
Good question. You asked the hard questions, Dom.
Dude.
Oh man, this game is way more fun.
All right, that's fine, I guess. Hey, that's a big improvement.
Yeah.
Do you want to turn on the second player and you can hop in here?
Yeah, we can give that a shot. I don't even remember how we did this. I think we need to also set up. You need to set the server so that it accepts 2 players.
Yeah, that's about right. Going to rebuild right now? Yeah, totally. Let me pop this in a Slack.
Do I not have Chrome? I don't have Chrome on this machine.
Wow, lucky you. That's amazing.
Weird flex, I know. Let's see here.
All right.
Nice.
Oh shit! Look at that.
I'm getting a little bit of misprediction here, but
interesting. Okay.
Otherwise, I'm shooting.
You look a little jerky on my screen. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Can't see me now, can you?
I can see you. The hiding system doesn't work across multiplayer.
Well, as I say, yeah, that actually would be very, very. I can't see you because the painter's algorithm's all messed up over here. But oh, what? You can see me. That's unfair.
Yeah.
Why is your tank better than mine? There we go.
But yeah, I'm getting a misprediction on my end.
Okay.
But it's not. I mean, it's bad, but it's not like horrible. But definite misprediction. I see you hiding there in the trees.
I was going to say, It actually would be pretty cool. Like, I feel like you should be able to. I should be invisible to you at this point. Like, the renderable for hidden. Let's fix that.
Okay.
I don't want to be able to see you in the trees, and you shouldn't be able to see me in the trees.
Yeah. That's
let's
interesting.
see. Yeah. We've got our player renderables, and we actually know if you're hidden. Because we're doing this whole obscured check.
We do have the obscured check, but then it's also about teams. And I don't think I'm assigned a different team, right? Oh, you know what it is I'm occasionally going into overdrive.
Oh, okay. Is the overdrive label still there?
It absolutely is.
I forgot.
You can't see it that. You can't see it on your end, but it's like blinking on and off for me.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a solid 15 ahead of the server.
I think we left overdrive in a really weird state.
We did. But it's, it seems to be enough that it works.
Like, yeah, my update FPS is at a solid 44 frames a second, which is terrible.
44?
Yeah.
Wait, on Windows?
On Windows. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Is this like a Chrome thing? This might be a Chrome thing. I'm gonna get Chrome. I'm giving it.
I was gonna say Chrome seems to be our best performance so far. Because 44 on the Windows machine is Garbo.
Yeah, I have like friggin' 12 hyper threads on this thing. I should be cooking with gas.
Yeah. Well, and like the stream is running entirely on your sweet RTX graphics card, so there's no excuse.
Yeah. Downloading Chrome. Now I'm installing Chrome.
I should try it out on Microsoft Edge too. See how that's going.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna hold off from that one.
Pass. Please don't.
Yeah. Not for me today. Can you restart?
Yeah. Now, can I? I need to kick the server, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
We could fix that.
Server kicked.
We'd have to do cookies and stuff. It'd be a pain in the butt.
It'd be nice to be able to.
It would be nice.
Reset this somehow without the rebuild.
Just for our own sanity. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, give it a look.
All right. All right. I am now at a smooth 60 FPS update. I am no longer herky jerky. This actually feels awesome. I'm not gonna lie, this feels incredible.
Yours looks a lot better now. Yeah, dude.
So there's something with Firefox and our set timeout thing that's very aberrant, right?
And Safari wasn't doing so hot either. Yeah. I am super impressed by this.
Yeah.
This
is incredible. Our game, like, we spent probably a month and a half wandering through the dark forest.
Yeah.
Wondering, will we one day have a smoothly playable multiplayer game? And we're still not doing lag compensation. Did you just die?
You killed me. Yeah, you got me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Frames ahead of server negative. Oh, I love it. I've never seen that before.
Well, I'm not actually sorry. I was happy to kill you. I did it semi-intentionally. It was sort of like a happy accident. I'm definitely like chaotic evil in alignment.
Now I'm in overdrive. I wasn't...
What's the worst evil?
The worst evil?
It's not chaotic evil, right? Like what is Mitch McConnell?
I mean, would he be lawful evil?
I think he'd be like, well, what the hell does not lawful evil even mean?
Like cops are lawful evil, right? All cops are lawful evil.
Yeah, but they break the law, though, right?
ACALE. Yeah, it's true.
A lawful evil would be like a CEO, right? Well, they cheat too, don't they? Everybody cheats. There's no such thing as lawful evil. It doesn't make sense. Right?
My keyboard just started typing backwards, and I feel like I'm having an aneurysm. I think what's... Sorry, you saw that too, right?
I did not see it. No, I was busy shooting walls in the game because I was so happy that it was working.
Great. Lawful evil. I think something was resting on the right arrow of the keyboard in front of me.
All right.
Let's see. Lawful evil. I mean, this is definitely Mitch McConnell.
He doesn't play by the rules, really, does he? Or
I think he plays exactly by the letter of the rules because literally no one can stop him because he's not doing anything.
Yeah, lawful evil is like a lawyer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm actually down with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude is lawful evil.
Yeah, because I feel like that's worse than like chaotic evil, like I just want to watch the world burn kind of thing.
I'm a big fan of chaotic evil. Like,
Yeah.
let's find some important alignment charts to. This is really how we'll figure it out. Is
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Alignment charts.
Okay. The Batman one's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So
I think Batman is maybe like, I'm not sure. Well, chaotic good's fine. Neutral evil. Yeah, I agree with that. How we doing on lawful good? Lawful...
Is Picard really lawful neutral?
I mean, the Prime Directive is pretty lawful neutral.
Okay.
Let's see. We got some Star Wars in here. I don't know if Luke Skywalker is actually lawful neutral. Maybe in the new trilogy.
I think Luke Skywalker is more neutral good.
Mm-hmm. Also, this weird fucking Benicio del Toro character they threw in there that was just dumb.
Wait, when was Benicio del Toro in?
He's in I think he's in The Last Jedi as like the smuggler who just fucks up all their shit for no good reason.
Oh, I don't even remember that.
It's not very memorable and mostly like disheartening.
Are you serious? He's in that? What the fuck? Can you Google Benicio del Toro Star Wars?
Yeah, sure.
I need.
Yeah, totally. He's the guy in The Last Jedi who can't wear a shirt properly. I mean, I guess he's doing a pretty okay job, but
wearing the shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
No, that's not shirt's not worn properly. Yeah.
It looked to me more like a V-neck where he like put on a bathrobe and forgot to put something under it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just a dude the whole time. He's like kind of fun to watch.
I forgot about this guy entirely.
That's because this movie was like simultaneously really great and really forgettable.
Yeah, I'm I have a hard time disliking Last Jedi because it caused so much like right-wing Gamergate rage.
I was gonna say that was the best part about it, was watching everyone just like lose their shit.
But at the same time, I didn't think it was a very good movie. So
nah, the best thing it had was like that really cool like hyperspace scene, and everything else was like kind of meh.
It was a very weird setting. It's like we're running away. It was like a very slow motion chase kind of thing, and it was very weird. It felt like the writers were writing themselves into a corner. I'm a huge Rian Johnson fan, by the way. Just putting that one out there. Yeah.
Because I mean, he did Knives Out right after that, right?
He did Knives Out.
I mean, of course, Brick, but
did you watch Brothers Bloom?
No, that's like the one movie I haven't seen of his. I think is it great?
Brothers Bloom is fantastic. Yeah, it's chock full of. It might be actually, I think, his best. Do I want to say his best movie?
I mean, Brick was fucking dope, and Looper was fucking dope.
Yeah, so. They're both great movies. Brothers Bloom, I think, is his most ambitious movie, which is hard, it's ridiculous to say because he did Knives Out and he did Last Jedi, but like
an entire Star Wars, but sure.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I would recommend that you hop off stream after this and just watch it stat. Just grab Cat and just say, look, you have to watch this. Yeah.
Also, Knives Out too.
What?
Bring it on.
It's just gonna be what's his face again, right? Daniel Craig.
Yeah, just Daniel Craig doing a very bad Southern accent for 2 hours. I'm in. I'd love to watch it.
Yeah,
I think this is a pretty good alignment chart, actually. Like Vader and Hitler are lawful evil. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. I don't understand the sort of microgradations between Hitler and Stalin. Hans Gruber.
I like that this is taking a line on like.
Was that Alan Rickman? Hans Gruber.
That was Alan Rickman. Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like this is taking a line on fictional and historical figures.
Okay.
At the same time.
Yeah. I like that too. I don't have a read on Blackbeard or Blackbeard rather. Like he doesn't mean anything to me.
But like pirates in general as a chaotic neutral force, I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Pirates in general, yes.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah. Overdrive. Whoa! Oh shit! Every wall you just shot simultaneously exploded.
Wait, why did you go into overdrive? Did you cancel?
I'm dead.
But why does death? Oh, because you're no longer in the entity array. Is that what happened?
I don't know, but I'm just not in even line with the server anymore. Yeah. So it's but I guess maybe you've also stopped the game, so now the server is. I'm catching up slowly.
Oh, I think I'm still in the game. I'm still in the game. Yeah, I'm still there. I'm 25 frames ahead
Oh.
of server, which is weird. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Oh, well, so here's an interesting thing. Yeah, now my number's going back down. I think the game might have like, had you clicked away? Did we
Oh,
just
you
pause
clicked away.
everything?
That's why. It just decided it didn't want to update after you clicked away.
Oh,
It stopped scheduling you.
I made a new tab. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's legit.
Okay.
Cool.
Is the browser the right context for this?
For this game?
Yeah. Browser's dope. The browser's great.
I still like it. Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like we played a multiplayer game. It was like 100% 60 FPS on both of our computers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm refreshing the server because this was great. And I'm zooming to you. Like,
and I'm streaming
all
the
that CPU.
motherfucking Twitch.
You got a real computer. I got
Earth.
a laptop over here.
It's true. Yeah.
I started over so we could live.
Yeah. Right. I'm just driving around. I'm not going to shoot. I'm a pacifist. And do you see my turret just going around like a?
I do. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah, you're just really spinning that thing.
Yeah. Woo!
Doing helicopters with the turret.
Gonna do some tank donuts.
Yeah, that's actually. I'm not surprised that did not add a ton of overhead because like the volume of messages does not seem to be an issue we have, which is great.
Yeah, we do lose a little bit of FPS when these turrets shoot at us, but it still feels pretty good, you know?
Well, and I think if you come over, if we're both on the same screen, same part of the screen, the FPS goes back up because it's the number of turrets that are active.
Yeah, relative to both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this should be the worst part, and that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the turret system should be faster than what it is. It really shouldn't produce visible slowdown. I mean, the fact that we're multiplying everything by 15 doesn't help. But
yeah, still very impressed.
I'm very impressed by this. I'm very impressed by us. Mostly because I spent 6 weeks not feeling that impressed by us because we kept trying to optimize this thing, and now I think we're finally like eating a little bit of the fruit of that, right?
It took a minute. It was a little demoralizing.
Or was it just the election? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Confused emotions.
The game was depressed too, obviously.
Yes, yeah. But now we're cooking with gas.
This is great, yeah.
Or we're cooking with whatever climate change friendly, carbon neutral fuel.
Fuel cells, baby. Hydrogen stoves only.
Yeah. No, I think we're cooking with gas, but then we bought a couple of offsets on the carbon market, which aren't actually going to be honored because I think that's the way that system works.
Wait, what? Are carbon offsets bullshit? I mean, I know they're bullshit.
I think they're kind of bullshit. Yeah. There's no efficient way to like enforce that, right? So
somehow I'm just not fucking surprised, but also, ugh.
Yeah. Should we do our cool checkpointing system? Cool new checkpointing system.
I want to hide the players.
You want to hide the players? Okay, let's hide the players.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I realize that means we need to somehow get the current player. We just need to get the current player out of the game and into the entity manager so that things can act on current player.
What is the rule for hiding?
I was just going to say that like if you're behind the tree, you're not visible to anyone else. Even if we're on the same team, we might as well just like roll it that way for now.
Okay.
Because we can always add team stuff to the things later, but we don't have two teams to go with anyway. And
how do we know who the current player is? So the player input system knows, right?
Well, the client has a player number.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. And we just need to thread the client's player number into the entity manager so the entity manager can like make an assertion about that. So I'm just going to add a property here, and this seems like a totally fine and reasonable thing. Player number, and then this stops. Oh wow, this constructor really takes nothing, huh? Do we have like a start? No? All right, I guess I'll make this public.
Why don't we do a set? I know that.
Okay, yeah.
Just because we've done such a good job making most things. Well, you know what? The other thing that we could do is make it a component. I mean, that would be weird, but like it's basically an entity, like a singleton entity that's like global state.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh.
But it's also not part of the simulation either. It's like just something that each client knows. I'm over philosophizing. Whatever you want to do it.
I'm gonna make a set current player function. Okay. Yeah. But I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay. That's very charitable.
Yeah. This dot current player equals player number. Do you need like fine.
I love that.
Fine.
I was gonna say something and then TypeScript just said it for me.
I know. I was hoping it would infer void from a function not returning that I put no type signature on, but no. Yeah. That's fine. Cool. So it's just right here. This dot entity manager dot set current player.
I had a very brief foray into writing OCaml, right?
Did you really?
Yes.
OCaml.
Yes. And OCaml does what is known as Hindley-Milner type inference, where it kind of just figures out what the types are based on how it's being used.
Wow.
But I found it to be confusing. So I actually kind of like the idea of like explicit labeling the types. You can explicitly label types in OCaml, but you don't have to. I guess it's like non-strict TypeScript, right? If we got rid of that linting rule, it would figure it out.
Oh, is that what strict mode is doing for us? I don't
know if it's strict mode. I think we might actually literally have a lint rule that says you have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Damn it! It's got to be readable.
Yeah.
I will make it public. It will be still a setter. Cool. And then obscured. And then current player equals. Oh man, this is annoying. Why did I go down this path? This is silly. Const player. What do we have? Entity manager dot. Oops. We have get player. We have get player ID.
It's the entity ID.
So I want this. Entity manager dot get player ID for the current player.
Yes.
And then if current player ID equals entity ID.
I actually think we could do a different return statement, right? Because we basically want to return no renderables at all, right?
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
So if current player ID not equal entity ID
and obscured,
yeah.
Return empty array.
Ooh, that's clever. I like that. All right, server running. Hop on in here.
Oh, you're gone. Oh man.
Oh shit. You also disappeared, which is really cool.
I think I myself disappeared to myself, which is interesting.
Yeah, sorry, so do I. It was so funny because we both wandered into the trees and disappeared at exactly the same moment.
Yeah. Oh, maybe that's the game, is you can't even see yourself when you're in the trees. That's actually an interesting gameplay. It's disorienting especially when the screen stops scrolling, because you basically, as soon as your tank disappears, you start to rely on the screen scroll to situate yourself instinctively. But then when you hit the edge, you totally lose yourself. It feels like you stopped, actually.
Yeah.
So what did we do wrong?
Great question. Entity manager get player.
We're not setting current player.
We're not. We are.
On the entity manager? Where are we setting it?
Yeah. I set it in start set current. Nope, in the client. We call it when we get our player number assigned. That looks legit.
Yeah.
I'm over this function already.
Yeah. That was quite the honeymoon.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Player intervals is unsaved, but I don't think that was the issue, right?
No, I put
Okay,
a set of params around that, and then it deletes it because it knows the order of operations is correct. Player ID. Why? Yeah, I'm confused.
Get player ID and then current player. Yeah, that looks right.
And the entity ID is the player we're rendering. And this is me. That should only show up for me. Do we each think we're player one? It's weird that we disappear. It's weird that we disappear on both sides though, because I would expect one of our tanks not to work. All right. Screen.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what my console looks like.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Actually, what if? Well, this is fine. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
Okay. Get ready to open the console and slow down the game.
Yep, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Reloading. Take a look at the console. Oh.
There we go. Entity ID is always undefined. All right. Wait, what? Sorry, current player ID is always undefined. Yeah, great.
What is current player?
Always -1.
Seems wrong.
Yeah, it sure does. That's in our constructor. Do we like make a new entity manager after starting the game? We reset the whole thing. That's what it is.
Oh.
That's why.
Oh.
This is actually.
Oh, yeah. I see. Got it. Yep. Okay. Fair enough.
I accept that. Yeah, that's not the weirdest thing we could have done.
Yeah. Entity manager is almost like simulation state, right? And it's like everything.
It's basically the whole simulation state, I think.
Yeah.
At this point. Oops.
Everything except the frame, right?
All right.
Let's try this one more time.
No, it just restarted again. Okay. You're in there. Here I am. Oh, yeah, that's cool. You're totally invisible.
And I can still see myself.
I like it. Yeah, that works great. Okay, I'm happy about that. Yeah, that's cute.
I can't shoot out. Ooh, that was weird. I think I just predicted a tree. I think what happened is I predicted a tree shot, but I shot you instead, according to the server.
And the tree popped back in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
Tree death perhaps should not be predicted.
Should not be predicted.
Yeah.
Should only be from the server?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that would feel weird, right?
It's going to feel weird. Ooh, I just flipped into overdrive for just 1 second.
Yeah, me too.
How interesting. Really? Ah, cool.
That means the server got slow, right?
Or is my console still open?
Yeah. Oh. We can work with this though. This is great.
This is fun. Fun. You think I'm over there, but I'm over here. Oh, see, yeah, this is great because I actually like this quite a bit. I want to put more trees on the map.
Oh, I died.
I died. We both died.
We both died at the same time, and the game stopped simulating as a result. Seems like a bug.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, there's no more messages. I'm not sending messages. You're not sending messages. The server has idled, waiting for one of us.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
I think so. I think it lives here now.
Also, we're probably hitting undefined stuff again. At least.
Oh. I should look in the console and see what's going on. Oh yeah. Orientation undefined. Yep, totally tank mover. Okay. Dude, this is sick.
Why is a tank
Very
mover
cool.
doing that though?
Mm,
Is it assumed that the player is always in existence?
Probably. Yeah, it seems likely.
Oh, but is it still getting messages? It's because our player input system doesn't check to see if the player actually exists.
Yeah, there's certainly still a mouse message coming through.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, all over the place. And keyboard messages and yada, yada, yada. Cool. Well, dang. This is delightful.
It's great.
Wow. All right. Yeah, do you want to talk about the immutability?
I do.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's see what we got here.
Let's take a look at both things, right? We both have.
Oh, I've got
you're way ahead of me. Jeez.
I prepped them both. Yeah.
My gosh.
But I'll keep them one at a time because that's actually a lot of weird code to look at, and I can make this bigger instead.
Okay. So first of all, problem we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
I've been having this conversation a lot with people where like. I think one of the main things I learned at the company that you and I both learned at was to try to be very clear about what problem you are trying to solve. And that was the feedback that I received, and that was the feedback that I tried to act on. The interesting twist on that, have we talked about this already? The interesting twist on that that I found in my current job is that is all well and good as long as people agree that the problems are actually problems. And what I've since learned is that even when you try to start with what you think is a very clear-cut and obvious problem, not everybody will see it that way. So this is sort of the nice little curveball that life throws at you once you think you've got something figured out, such as communication in an engineering org. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So what is the problem?
I will say that the problem is this is totally ambiguous and easy to miss and has a huge side effect that has nothing to do with the value that you get back from it.
Yeah, it bit us in the ass last time, right? What was it? The turrets weren't being checkpointed. Was that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Or like we mischeckpointed the transform and the tank was running to the wall in a funny way. I remember that was maybe like 2 or 3 sessions ago. But...
Right, we had the rubber banding bullets. Remember that? Was it the bullets not being checkpointed? Yeah.
This has basically bitten us for every single component so far in some small way.
Now, the purpose of this checkpointing was to basically say we are about to modify an entity, but we're not really sure if that modification is going to hold. So I want you, game, to remember what the entity was like before we modified it, because we might have to go back to that point, hence the word checkpoint, right? And it is pure optimization, right? Because the other thing we could have done is just at the beginning of every frame had the game remember where everybody was, right? We could have just said checkpoint everybody.
Yep.
But we thought that was too expensive because we had to make deep copies of everything, and then the deep clone function from Lodash ended up taking up like 50% of our performance time when we profiled. And we're like, well, we can't checkpoint everything. So the only other option that we have is to tell the game what we want to checkpoint when we know we're going to make a change. But it's frickin' brittle, right?
Yeah, gosh, that was like the biggest place so far that like JavaScript memory management has just felt like the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because like we could have put that in a place, just move some addresses around. I can totally see how to do that with like a language that is not garbage collected every other second.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is it's served its purpose. It's making our copies. I like the new snapshot entity components that's actually doing this component by component in a really nice way. But if we take this out, the code still looks like it works perfectly, but now it's very broken.
Yeah, the type checker's not telling us anything wrong. What we'd really like to be able to do is when we do something like lines 37 to 42, like a radial translation where we're actually modifying the position of the transform, we would ideally want something that just like knew to checkpoint the entity right then and there, right? Or checkpoint the component, which I think was the thing that you mentioned last time would be a nice improvement. Because right now when we checkpoint, we snapshot everything, right? Feels wasteful.
And I'm trying to like not be in a famine mindset in terms of memory management and CPU, because like I think we actually still have a lot.
Yeah.
But it's the things that get repeated way too many times that I think are really what's going to burn us. And yeah, like there's a whole bunch of Vec2s that just don't need to be cloned here because they didn't move.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, hotshot. Pop quiz. Well, okay, so what do we do about this?
Well, I think we both sort of picked out immutable types and TypeScript as a really nice way to attack this problem, because JavaScript can't stop us from writing to our any property we want at any point. But when we tell TypeScript it's immutable, we get errors really fast when we start modifying stuff.
Yeah.
And that was I changed the type to immutable really quick, and it worked great. There's actually a really was it sorted map? I found it was very, very pleasant just to turn this on.
Mm-hmm.
Or rather, sorry, this is a TV, but the get returns a read only TV.
Right.
And suddenly, like, this sort of stuff just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Horrible. I didn't notice that this was a modification. This still works.
Yeah, that's tricky, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, and the Vec2 library is going to constantly do this to us, but this equivalent would.
I agree with you that is better. Yeah. In fact, maybe radial translate is the wrong interface. Right. We tried to make it look like the Vec2 library.
Oh, is this ours? Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Great.
Right,
yeah, we copied it, but I think in this case, we benefit so much from not modifying in place.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And do transform to position bracket 0 equals 5 or something like that? Does this still complain?
Yeah, totally. Nope.
Okay.
So I think you solved this problem in a different way.
I'm not sure if this will work, but I used a different utility type, read-only being one of them. But I made one called Immutable.
Okay. Let me see if I can grab this out of your merge request.
And Immutable, I didn't make this up myself. I stole it. But it's basically read-only, but it's recursive. Right?
Oh, that's clever as hell. This works.
Yeah, I'm not convinced. You can't put it in the middle of a class like that. I'm not convinced it's going to solve...
or in a class, yeah, this won't work at all.
I'm not convinced it's going to solve the array access problem.
Well, I'm curious. So let's try that, and then let's try. Where'd my cursor go? There we go.
Oh my god, it works.
Very nice. I love it.
Wow. Yeah, that's incredible.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Does this work?
Oh, geez, it totally doesn't. Wow.
Nice job.
Dude.
Holy shit. Okay.
Nice job, random internet people.
That's so cool.
That's great.
So wait, so what is the type of this transform then? And the type of transform dot position is a read-only number. Wow. Or an immutable float 32 array, which goes even deeper. Dude, that is super neat. I love it. Yep. I love it so much.
So let's take a look at the actual type definition there, just so we can walk our heads through it, right? So basically, it is a read-only interface or object whose keys are the same keys as T, but the values are the immutable value of the key in T. Drops that make sense?
Yeah, this works.
It works.
You can do this?
Yeah, so the real secrets, there's two secret sauce. There are two droplets of secret sauce here. One is the in key of. That's just a TypeScript type operator that we've got that we can do.
I was gonna say this is just trying to bring this back to some normal TypeScript, but
I think read-only looks like this, actually, right?
Yeah.
In fact, we can make the read-only type. We could write it ourselves. It's just what read-only would look like is it'd be export type read-only T.
Sorry, where's wait, I told sorry map. Wait, yeah. Sorry. Read-only is it's like a type annotation and
a built-in utility type, but it's capital R read-only, right?
When it's the annotation, yeah.
Well,
or when it's the utility type.
Right? Yeah, but let's make the utility type, and we can see the difference. So it'd be type capital R read-only of T, and it would be equal read-only K in key of T. Yeah, it'd be that same thing. And then it would map to T bracket K.
TK, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing different is it doesn't have that recursive invocation of the type. Pretty sure that's what read-only is.
That is so clever.
Yeah.
I was not aware of this syntax.
That's the other droplet of secret sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that you could. I didn't know you could do that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Man.
There's some wild shit in TypeScript that I think we've really only scratched the surface of. And I believe it has gotten even crazier in the latest TypeScript release in August.
I was gonna say we're not even on TypeScript. We're on TypeScript 3.8.3 right now.
Yeah.
We haven't even begun to type. Wow. Okay. Right. That's a wildly clever solution to this problem.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think TypeScript somehow like TypeScript 4, I think does like variadic tuple types. I think that's the big innovation. Wow. And
the long-awaited variadic tuples.
Yeah, I've been waiting. And basically it allows you to apply template types to like ... I think. But it's not an array, it's actually a tuple. It actually knows that like the thing only has like n number of items in it.
Let's say it's their first item.
This one's hard to understand, but it was what I was trying to write when I was really more into the whole entity component system. I was trying to write a query function that says, give me all the entities that have a transform and a shooter, something like that, right? And I only wanted to write that once. And so like that, I wanted to write that function concat right there. I really wanted to write one thing that queried, but I wanted to be able to deal with like multiple component types. Like I will return you the entity ID and the transform and the shooter of all entities that had transforms and shooters that were non-null. But then what if you wanted like an arbitrary number of components in that? You know, I wanted all the entities that have a transform, a shooter, and a, I don't know, like a what other components do we have? I don't even remember.
Turret, bullet.
Yeah, that have a turret as well.
Yeah. Oh man, okay.
So this lets you write functions that have tuple inputs of varying size, which is really kind of a mind bender.
I'm struggling with this.
Yeah, I messed with it for like a day and I'm still like struggling. I'm still tongue-tied trying to explain what it does.
So wait, oh wow. You can type a function and get back a fully typed, like handing it this will give you a type of 2, 3, 4 back. Wow.
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay, sure. Why not TypeScript? You do everything else. Dude, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
TypeScript number pool.
Yeah. I think the type system is Turing complete, so you can go ahead and
write StarCraft AI.
Yeah, you could go ahead and write Doom in the TypeScript type language.
This is okay. basically they're letting you do with types what you want to do with values. Interesting.
Yes. So you can, I think probably one of the weaker ways you can explain this feature is you can use ... in a type definition.
Man, okay. That's really wild.
Yeah, my brain is bent.
Yeah. Also, I don't understand this example. I guess since number is an unknown length, this merges in. Gosh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you broke my brain enough with this, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah, this one I think makes some amount of sense, right? Yeah. Basically, it's saying we're going to take some operators that are runtime operators and bring them into the realm of the type system. The variadic tuple thing that we were looking at was the ... operator. The thing that TypeScript has had for a long time is the bracket operator, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I had to go and write out the key string to number. I was like, oh, the syntax is actually very familiar for my TypeScript types.
Yes.
It's just usually stuck to this.
Yeah. And this reminds me of the C programming language a little bit, where your type declarations look like the expressions that you would use to actually access the values, which actually is considered to be a huge flaw of C. So I'm not sure
really?
if this was
bummer.
like, huh?
That's a bummer, because being able to dig into the type of K with TK is so cool.
It's pretty powerful, right? And I think it makes a certain amount of sense once you kind of squint at it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I did not design this. I actually just Googled immutable type in I just Googled it, and there's a blog post that came up. So we'll link that in the show notes.
Dude, it's great. But like, it totally works.
Yep.
Everything is read-only the whole way down.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the thing that I'm pretty sure this won't work on is method calls. We'd have to verify that. But like, if you had a method call that modified this, I guess we could try it in the code right now. Like,
so that would be like, if I was to go into the entity manager, we have, like, what do we have that can modify itself?
I think nothing. I think
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, clone, it seems like, is the thing that's doing that.
Clone doesn't modify itself though. We could just add a like set health function on the damageable or something like that, sure. or we'll do it wherever we have an immutable type defined, right?
Well, I think what I imagine you're getting at is that we actually want, so this is marked as immutable wherever, since the sorted map get is always immutable.
Yeah.
And we want to say this dot health equals new health. This is void.
Yeah.
So if I were to go into the damager, into the attack system. Great. Okay.
Set health.
And if I did, damageable. Nope.
Just do set health 5 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Bro, it's still going.
Oh my god.
The fuck? Wait, this is not immutable new health number. That's actually a strange TypeScript error. As damageable. So now I'm casting it. If I import this at least. And we're good.
And what if you do it as immutable damageable? Oh, immutable's not exported, so you're not gonna be able to do that. But
it's not exported, but this is an immutable damageable.
Oh my god, this works. I'm shocked.
Yeah. All right, I don't understand why this one works.
I think it's going into this and it's expecting line 22 to not be immutable.
I guess so.
Like the this on line 22.
But expression is not callable. All right, wait. I want one more piece of something here. Get health.
Yeah.
I expect this to work totally normally. Damageable.getHealth. All right, what the fuck? Awesome, not callable.
That's
well. I have a thought. My thought is that what's happening is that we're getting something that is read-only of that, and I don't know what kind of type that is. I think TypeScript might have just written that out. Is that possible?
So can we go back to the code that's giving you the error?
Yeah. Let's actually let me. Nope. Come back. Come on. There you go. I just want to keep both these types side by side. And
if you pass, get health, this expression is not callable.
because as I said, look at the type. It's yeah. Sorry.
No. What if you just do damageable dot health? Is that what the?
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
That's fine.
Because that's weirdly a number, but it's read only.
Yeah.
So this is, I guess, what's happening is that at the end of the day, so this is really not. This did not do what we expected. It's not that it's not callable and hasn't read into it, or rather, it hasn't gone in and read the line in the damageable object. It's saying that the immutable type with an immutable with generic type new health arrow void is not a function because it's not a function.
TS 2349. Let me see this.
Yeah.
Is this true of read only as well? Like if you do this with the read only type, does that happen at the same time?
What would a read only function be? Well, like I guess this has no return type, right? Like this has a return type. But it's that all of our functions. Yeah, interesting.
That doesn't make sense to me. I guess the read only is about whether you can set the AABB member or not. But it's also seemed to be implying that it confers some sort of weird type status to the function value itself, which is a little bit strange.
Mm-hmm. So I guess someone had this is an interesting one where this is not callable. Which also like, wow, weird fucking type signature to pick.
Yeah.
I would not expect that to be callable either. Huh.
But ours should be callable, right? Because that T of K is a function.
Yeah, it's weird because like I see the immutable as just an annotation on the actual function type. It has no call signature. This is like TypeScript generic has no call. That's so interesting. Huh.
Well, I'm theoretically okay with this. It just means that like our components can't be classes. They can't contain classes.
Which is not terrible, and we've sort of like we've done this on the transform successfully.
Yeah, there are some.
And I think it works like actually the vec2 syntax is superior to the function call on the object.
I agree. There are some components that have a hitbox function on them. We're just gonna have to pull them out I mean, honestly, like methods are not that big a deal. Like I'm not too attached to methods.
No, no. Yeah, if we have to lose it, that's
Yeah.
actually great.
Yeah.
It's funny because for my version of this, I had to go and transform a class.
Oh,
I made a
right.
class going in the other direction. I think this makes just as much sense though.
Yeah, but to wind it back, the reason why clone was necessary is because we both created these container classes
Mm-hmm.
that needed to clone, because when you modify, we need a snapshot or checkpoint, and when we checkpoint, we need to clone, right? And so we both needed some way of cloning. The way that I did it is that you pass a clone function into the constructor of the container. I think the way that you did it is that you assumed that every object in there had a clone function defined for it, which is, I think, the more traditional object-oriented way of dealing with it.
That entities can clone themselves, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm honestly fine with it either way. I think passing the clone, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It basically, I think the reason why I chose that is that I was under the assumption that we would be passing in essentially a JSON deserialized object, so it's plain old JavaScript objects, right?
Yep. And I really like going down that path more, so I think that's super solid.
Okay.
The other thing I want to toss out there is that as I was doing this, only a couple of these components really needed to be checkpointed. Like I only encountered this basically I don't know, I deleted the checkpoint function, turned some of these into this, and just saw what would break.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like I really can't think of a reason to checkpoint walls except for deletion, which I think is maybe either a different primitive or the way you handled it, which is that the component table just so like sorry, I guess what I'm saying is that like clone could be optional even. Some of these don't clone.
I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Uh,
maybe it doesn't matter though. If it's a value type that's in a sorted set, like we don't care.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a property in TypeScript that says this is a type that is copied on equality.
Duplicate. Whoa, man.
What I mean by that is like when you use the equal or you pass something in. Like, is there a way that you can know that a type is primitive? Are strings mutable in JavaScript? They aren't, right?
Are strings mutable in JavaScript? No, you get new objects back, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't like copy a string without. I guess whether they're mutable or not doesn't really matter. At any rate,
yeah. You're thinking like I don't know. We have like the entity manager has like the teams, and team is really just yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Huh. So not to go too deep down that rabbit hole. Going back to it, I think you highlighted what I think is actually the most important philosophical distinction between what you wrote and what I wrote, and I have no idea what the right thing is yet. Oh, first of all, let me get rid of let's check out the list. The most obvious change, the most obvious difference is how you update things, right? So we said, okay, both in terms of getting things and probably also iterating over things, you want to return immutable versions of the objects that are contained in the container. So what about updating is the question.
Right. Yeah, let's see. You have an update function, right? Yeah. So in this version, you're saying you pass a new value in, hey, partial types, love it.
Yeah.
And it's just something is also doing some, okay, object out assign. Yeah. So you're snapshotting on update and then writing the new content into the current memory and just letting the simulation go from there.
Yes. Whereas I think you had a different paradigm, which was also cool.
Yeah, this one, I basically took our existing pattern of like the checkpoint function. And let's see, that checkpoint.
Yes.
And so I have every get in the system returns the read-only copy of the read-only typed version of the object, so setting stuff doesn't work. And then you just you checkpoint it and get a mutable copy back.
Yeah.
Which is actually also the live copy. It's like doing an update, but then you can just sort of,
directly modify that.
Yeah, you get to do it in a what's the opposite, imperative way. You get to just like assign values as you want to assign them and go to town.
Yeah. I am neutral on. I think the way that the Jeff version looks is the academically simpler way of doing it, because you know exactly where state modification will happen. It's wherever you call update.
Yep.
The trade-off, though, is that the DOM version is going to make code easier to write, I think, or at least simpler to write, because what you have to do with the Jeff version is like make an explicit copy in the user code of the object that you're working with, or keep a bunch of like loose variables that aren't bundled together, like the orientation of a transform or the position of a transform, and then say those are my updated values. Now I'm going to pass it into the update function, right? And I can see the pluses and minuses. Like both of them would lead to subtle bugs. I just don't know which one is more error prone.
Yeah, well, and one of the things I noticed while using the mutable objects is that like, as soon as I grabbed this, I had to make a choice about what orientation I wanted to reference further down in the file.
Oh, yeah.
Shooter's already in scope, but I've updated it, so I want the new orientation. But if I like use the wrong variable, you're lost.
So it's almost as if you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, either way, right?
I think so, because yeah, the cost of having to collect up your update at the end and send it is like, yeah. Yep. So great. We've come up with two completely adequate solutions to this problem.
Okay, yeah. So that's going to be the most. This is going to be the change that has the most effect on ergonomics.
Yeah.
And
then I explicitly kind of fit mine to our existing code.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's a great idea.
I could see it go both ways.
Yep.
Before we adjudicate on that, the other thing that I wanted to mention is the difference between our approaches, and it's either because you didn't get to it yet, or you had a different plan in mind, and I'm curious to know which it is. Is that I did delete snapshotting in the container, and I think you assumed that would happen elsewhere, right?
I was actually going to do it in the container next.
Oh, okay, so it was just coming.
Yeah, well, I wrote this out, and I was like, okay, undeleting makes no sense anymore, because our entity manager is no longer like the source of checkpoints. So stepping it one forward, how? And I think essentially I was about to write the exact same code, which is like, this needs to maintain its own list of deleteds, and then
Got it. So no controversy there, or I mean, not that there's controversy anywhere. There's no disagreement there about the approach.
No, I think it's right, and I love it's less computation and less shit to manage for each one of these. So yeah.
I think I like doing the snapshotting of the deletes in the container itself, because I think it's more flexible, and if we ever did want to remove one component permanently from an entity, we could do it this way.
Oh, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
We haven't experimented with that yet, but yeah, we totally could, huh?
Hasn't been a need yet, but maybe you get a power up that says, okay, now you have this status that allows you to move through walls or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, we've sort of handled that with pickups, but that's maybe the overly simple way to do that.
Yeah.
I think adding a component makes a lot of sense.
It could be that what I'm saying is bad, and that we shouldn't delete components, and maybe we should use Boolean flags to do that kind of thing that I'm talking about. But I don't know. Like we don't have enough concrete examples to really explore that idea.
Well, at the same time, adding or removing a Boolean flag is exactly the same operation of checkpointing and undeleting.
You're right. Okay, so that is a good.
We have to think of it the same way.
That is a good example. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
so being obscured or not is exactly that, right?
Yep. Yeah, precisely.
Okay.
We do add stuff. We do add and remove stuff from the obscured set all the time, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Are we checkpointing that? How?
In the hiding system.
Yeah, wait a minute.
We might not be checkpointing it. We do checkpoint on line 33.
Checkpoint. Okay.
But we wouldn't have to ask this fucking question if we had the thing that we're talking about adding, right?
Yeah, exactly. Also, we have to checkpoint the entire entity.
Yeah.
For like no good reason here.
Yeah. Garbage. Total garbage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird. It feels a little ambiguous, sort of the add setting a flag or adding a string and deleting it to make it unobscured. It's like, well, no, maybe I'm talking my ass. We are deleting a component. It's just going away. Yeah. It's exactly how our prediction system has been working the whole time, just on a very tiny level. Right. I love it. Okay. Sold.
Sweet.
Your solution is more complete. I do like this. And it breaks all our functions, so we have to rewrite it as data objects. Honestly, bonus, because like mine don't cover that.
I was thinking that we could figure out a way to do this component by component, table by table, rather than doing everything all at once.
I think that's possible, and I noticed you introduced it as a new data structure.
It wraps the sorted map.
Great.
It could be a slight performance issue because we have to hop through a couple layers of abstraction, but I don't
think that's our big problem, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's complicated enough that wrapping the sorted map is actually, I think, useful, right? Like the snapshot is itself a sorted map, and the contents are a sorted map as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the thing that maybe what I most worry about is like doing too many of these, where we're making new objects.
Yeah.
But like
that's garbage collection right there, right? That's basically what you're talking about.
Yeah, essentially. I was thinking we should approach that by actually going in and measuring like our allocations. And it seems like the reason that the Vec2 library is actually trying to reuse the same array all the time. And I feel like I totally understand it now.
I know what you mean. The problem is that, okay, so what we're talking about is that, because we do this already, but we do it once per entity, right? Like, so, or rather we do it once per entity manager. So we have one map we have one map for every single component type.
We do, but our checkpoint entities, so this thing where we toss out.
Yes, you're right. So the checkpoint is essentially we have like one GC cost for the checkpoint. And what happens if we have one for every component table is that we basically have a constant overhead, which is basically the number of different tables that we end up having, which could be in the dozens by the time that the game is over. The game
exactly.
Yeah.
But like, it's okay.
Maybe dozens is fine, right? We've got 16 gigabytes of RAM. It's really more the GC that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that like adding and removing set like not even the sorted maps, but like the actual sets themselves are not going to crush us. Like this is a primitive of the language.
The fact that we're dealing with constant time is the thing that maybe makes this not that big a deal, because it's not like we have an unbounded number of these objects that we're creating based on how many things get spawned in the game. It's always going to be the same number of new maps we're creating or new sets we're creating, right?
Yep. When I really like that our sort of our committing and rollback is always drop data instead of like, do it linearly. So I feel positively about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Sweet.
I would pull this class in. I'd pull this whole commit in, except that it changes predicted deletes.
I was looking through. This actually has multiple commits, and if you look at the series of commits and you look at it like commit by commit, the diff is easier to read. I fixed the quadtree test because I wanted to make sure that I changed the way that the iterator stuff worked. Yeah, this was just a straight up bug. I think our tests were just failing. I don't think our tests run on master. So
wait, didn't we wrote these tests?
yeah, we did. We just didn't run them.
Great. Well, can't fail if you never run them.
And then this next commit was the reason why I had to fix that, because I wanted to make sure the test passed, and I realized we were just writing way too much code for this stuff. I don't know if you used generators before. I don't know if you're a Python guy at all.
But, I have not. I know they're a big part of how async await works, though.
Yes, they are. That piece, I always have to reread the implementation notes. It's understandable, but it just takes I have to walk my head through it. The idea behind a generator is that when you invoke a function that's a generator, first of all, it has an asterisk in front of it. That's how you declare that a function is a generator. It's like the word
I was like,
async.
oh, good, generators.
Yeah, it's like the word async. And what that actually means is that when you invoke the function, you don't get back a traditional value, you get back a generator object. And then that generator object is essentially something that satisfies the iterable interface. It has a next function. The next function returns an object that has done or value. But what it allows you to do is it allows you to compose the logic of that function using a special keyword called yield. And what yield does is it says, when you get to yield, I want you to evaluate the expression to the right of yield, halt execution of the function and pause it there, but then return the value that the expression evaluates to as essentially the return value of the next function on the generator object, right?
That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's a kind of a head fuck because you can pass stuff back into the generator, so you can actually have a left-hand value on the yield expression, which I've never really seen people do in practice that often, but it's possible.
I see.
Yeah.
Huh.
But what's nice about this is that you can write the body of the generator in a much more natural way by just saying yield. And then basically execution of the generator stops there. And so you can do stuff after the yield call. But what that'll mean is it'll get executed the next time somebody calls next on the generator object. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So if you had console log foobar after that yield, basically the next time someone went through the loop, it would print foobar and then go to the next thing. Does that make sense?
This actually makes a good amount of sense. I really like this example because you can't write this code otherwise.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you've got this just on the loop.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you can kind of write that code otherwise, but what you have to do is you have to do a closure, right? Like you see how we did that in line 56. We close over that I variable. We essentially are doing kind of like functional object-oriented programming here. This is how you would do it in Lisp if you didn't have a class thing. You'd write a closure, capture the stack frame, so you close over some variables. Those become your instance variables, and then you pass back a function like a bag of methods that modify them.
Nice. So why do we have to put symbol.iterator in here?
So symbol.iterator, has nothing to do with it being a generator. That is basically allows you to do a for of expression on the object itself.
Well, we're basically saying, right, because we're assigning the things that make it a for of are on the generator interface already, and we're sort of splatting it into the actual object with symbol.iterator instead. Okay.
Because we did that on line, if you look at the deleted line 55, we already had the symbol.iterator. And this is actually a lot clearer. I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages. I think basically we're trading clarity for conciseness. This is really clear what's happening here. There is a function called symbol.iterator, and when you call it, returns an object that is an iterator. And that object has a next function on it, right? And then the next function has a particular interface that's prescribed for it in the protocol.
Yeah,
the generator version is doing the exact same thing. It's just that it's not clear that it's returning an object, right?
Yeah, it's wild that adding the star totally changes the return type of this thing, but I'm with it.
Yeah.
This is great. This is a really beautiful little piece of code.
Yeah, and it
so much
TypeScript
easier.
allows it to be like. Do you notice that TypeScript allows? I didn't write generator there. It's just an iterator of TK because the generator object satisfies the iterator interface.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The one thing I will compare this to is async await. I don't know if you do a lot of async await in TypeScript.
I do a ton of async await. Yeah.
And you know what's the return value on an async function?
Promise.
Right. It's got to be an awaitable of or a promise of that value, right? But you don't have to explicitly return a promise, right? It'll box your object into a promise.
That's correct. Yeah.
And so think of generator as being sort of similar to that, where it'll box the body of the function into an object somehow, right?
Gotcha. Okay. Right. Yeah. It's the whole thenable concept,
Yes.
which I guess. So it's like thenable or nextable.
Right.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. The only reason those two are connected in my head is because I recall when I couldn't use async await until whatever language I was using or whatever version of Node added generator support, so that we could actually drop that in there.
One thing that might help us understand this a little bit clearer is that the first version of when I wrote this, I didn't use symbol.iterator. I just used the word iter, iter. So if you wanted to use this table in a for of loop, you do like for const x of the object dot iter.
Yep.
Right.
Right. This is like another level of some JavaScript magic where this is like symbol.iterator is.
If you use it in a for of, it's going to call this function. That's basically what it says, right?
Yeah. Right. Because this is a JavaScript built-in keyword, and we're using the like variable assignment syntax on the current object. Cool.
Exactly.
Love it.
And if you use ... as well, ... will also basically say, does the symbol there have a symbol.iterator? If so, I'm going to call it first.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Digging it.
Cool.
Well, okay, wait. So is yours mergeable? There's 2 more commits.
Oh, so this one I realized we weren't using predicted deletes for anything because I was trying to remember if we needed to do predicted deletes in the container object that we just created, right? I was like,
using predicted deletes at all, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, please double check my work. I don't think it does anything.
Like we add it
and then we just chuck it.
Whoops. Yep, that I see. This is our end, but we've got an index. Why does this work? Oh, because something has already checkpointed this?
Yeah, all modifications. Or we have a bug, and we should retain it. So why would we want to predict? Why would we want to keep track of predicted deletes?
Well, so if I, the player, get destroyed,
and we remember that, right?
We remember that, and then we roll it back.
But
I'm still gone. Nothing can. I've been
I think the reason why we don't need predicted deletes is because when we register for deletion in the entity manager, we checkpoint the whole entity.
Register for.
Sorry, mark for deletion. 175.
Oh, great. Yep, this is it.
That's
okay.
It.
There's our checkpoint.
Yep.
Love it.
So
then yeah, we absolutely don't need this.
Yeah, I had to go through it in my head again. I was like, do we actually need this? Because I was trying to figure out whether we needed to add the same thing into the container that I was writing.
Yep. No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, great.
Well, I guess we have something to do either between now and Thursday, or next time.
Next stream is Friday.
Oh.
Still down for that?
Oh, Friday. Right.
Yes.
Thanks for the reminder. And it's a good time to announce, actually, because we're right up to 9 o'clock now.
Because it's time. Yeah. We'll announce it. I'll tweet it out after this.
Great.
Update the Twitch schedule for the week.
So this feels potentially workable. Is that the?
I'm super into it. Yeah,
okay.
I'm extremely down. I mean, I would merge this as is for what it's worth.
Okay. Don't do it right now because you've got a bunch of changes. So we'll rebase over and then.
Ooh, you know what I just did is added that weird immutable type and shit.
Oh.
I haven't committed yet.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see. It's probably no sorted map, huh? Yeah. Let's just. No, nobody wants this yet. But it's cool. Yeah, that's really clever. I am glad it breaks functions. I think that actually just works out really well for us.
This is actually incredible, and this is actually it's tempting to get all language nerdy about things, but I think this is actually a really powerful abstraction that TypeScript gives you. That this is like legitimately something that makes you better or makes the code better.
Absolutely.
That we wouldn't have been able to do in Python or Ruby or Go for that matter, right? Because Go doesn't have this notion of const or read only, right?
Does Go not?
Go does not, yeah.
Interesting.
Go actually is really impoverished in terms of making abstractions like this. Go would just be like, call the checkpoint function, just do it.
Yeah, that actually does feel very good. Man, this is always my problem with Go is they put a lot of the context in the programmer's brain, and you just have to deal with it.
Although Go gives you raw access to bytes, so you can do cheap copies. So maybe it wouldn't even be that big a concern, you know.
Right. If we were using Go, we wouldn't be checkpoint. We would be writing out the last known state and just dropping it back in there.
Exactly.
So there's
we'd just be copying it straight out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm just cleaning up all these things that nobody used. Wow, we got some multiplayer going. I really like the way our aiming works now and hiding, and this just feels good.
Yeah, something's coming together.
It's so cool, and I know we've both been talking about like, oops, I gotta get my VS Code stuff out of there. We've both been talking about like sort of like putting a pin in multiplayer, and suddenly I'm just like, oh, there's the pin.
There's the pin. It actually works.
Yeah, it works. Delightful.
Yeah. I did talk to. Well, I won't spill the beans. We're talking about maybe bringing on guests to the show. But
we absolutely still should.
Yeah, but we should. But I'll talk to you about it off stream, just because I don't want to make any promises yet.
Fair. Yeah. Twitch can't know.
Yeah. Session 49.
Session 49.
I don't have any clever names. It's just Session 49.
It's just Session 49.
We're both wearing red. I don't know. We were both wearing red.
Always go left. Always wear red.
Yeah.
Or miss the opportunity to make this the Four Seasons total lawn care commit, but that's okay.
We'll figure out some pun, right?
Yeah. Sweet, man. This works really well.
Yes.
I love it.
Feeling good about the future of the country. Feeling good about the future of the game.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Did you go to any of the party on Saturday?
There was a party? Or are you just talking about in the streets?
I took my bike to Oakland and just rode around and saw the mayor of Oakland riding around in her flame-throwing snail car.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Dancing in the streets. Yeah.
I did see her. I did see an awkward video of her giving a speech, and she used the word hella a couple times in a sentence, and I'm not sure if
she sucks, but she has a flame car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, she's not from here.
Yeah, she's not from here.
I'm not from here either. No, not even close.
Yeah. My car mechanic, or the one person at the auto shop that I go to, who's my favorite, is a true East Bayer. You know, he was just talking about like, these cars, they're hell of noisy. He just said hell of like straight up. It wasn't acronym or anything like that. Yeah. I think anybody who says hell of or hecka is probably like true East Bay, because they're like committed to the lingo.
Mm-hmm.
I use hella like semi-ironically, right?
It's one of those things I just picked up while I was here. I mean, when I lived in Pittsburgh, I said yins a lot.
Wait, what does that mean, yins?
It's the Pittsburgh version of y'all.
What? I've never heard that before. So give me an example sentence.
What are yins up to tonight?
Whoa.
That's it. It's a contraction of, instead of you all, you ones.
So would you just start a sentence like that? Yins. Because you'd say y'all, right?
I don't think I'd start a sentence.
So you wouldn't like address people with the word yins. It has to be like in the flow of like a complete sentence.
Oh, I think you'd address a group. If I was gonna be like, hey y'all, I would definitely say, hey yins.
Oh geez, that's so weird.
Yeah. It's an entire replacement for y'all.
Okay.
They just have a better version of it, I think. Pittsburgh. There's some other that particular. So I've lived in two places that have unique linguistic centers, which is New Orleans and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh calls water. What do you think Pittsburgh calls a water fountain?
Is it bubbler?
Yeah, okay. So maybe that's not Pittsburgh unique.
I've heard of that. I mean, I think I learned that from that New York Times dialect quiz.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, bubblers, vacuum cleaners are sweepers, which honestly makes so much fucking sense. Frankly, it does. It's a machine that sweeps for you.
It does.
And yeah, if you have a nosy neighbor, you call them nebby instead of nosy for some reason.
A nebby neighbor.
Nebby neighbor, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Western Appalachian Pittsburgh dialect has a whole Wikipedia page with like a bunch of strange words.
That's awesome. Did you take that New York Times dialect quiz at any point in your life?
Oh yeah, it puts me smack in the middle of New Orleans.
Wow.
Because of like two things I say.
It found me in northern LA County.
Do you know what your tell was?
So I'm not 100% sure. So first of all, I have the weird idiosyncrasy that when I was growing up, I would refer to all sodas as Coke, which is a Southern thing.
Yep.
But I think people in my neighborhood would say that. And somehow the New York Times, is it Harvard or New York Times? I don't know who
that was like a New York Times thing, I remember.
Okay, so whatever linguist that they worked with had figured that out, or that was just a complete red herring that I didn't interpret correctly. I think the big thing is when I say freeways. When I refer to any kind of.
That's pretty LA, yeah.
It's pretty LA, but they knew that I was in Santa Clarita, like northern LA County.
It might have been that plus Coke, and they're just like, that's that place.
Yeah. So I actually would be curious to know if Coke is a thing that is said frequently in Santa Clarita, because I don't know why that would be the case. It's very idiosyncratic for a Californian to say that, but it's very natural. I don't say it anymore. I say soda exclusively. But when I was growing up,
I still say Coke, and no one here understands it. I hate it.
Yeah. I think I might have come to the other side at this point. If someone said Coke, I would assume that they were literally going for specifically a Coke.
Absolutely. Yeah. What I can tell you mine. What do you call the strip of grass that divides a road, like a two-way road that has grass in the middle? What do you call that?
I didn't really have a name for that, but it's a median, right? Like,
yeah. In New Orleans, it's called the neutral ground.
The neutral zone.
Yeah, no, like we all.
Mr. Crusher, navigate us into the neutral zone, into the neutral ground. We should have the neutral ground in our game in Manchester. Let's have the neutral ground.
Oh, I hope they didn't delete the tweet. No, there we go. To the neutral ground.
Yes. To Four Seasons Total Landscaping, which is neutral ground. The guy who owns it tweeted out, it's like, I'm sorry about the negative comments. I get it. We'd have been happy to host presidential candidates from either party.
I'm sure the Four Seasons Total Landscaping did not expect to host
it would be a totally transgressive move if the Biden-Harris transition team did a press conference there at the same place. Can you believe how dope that would be? They would win some of the Trump people over if they did that.
That's so funny.
Some of the Trump people were like, okay, you know what? That was well played. That was well played.
I saw someone. A lot has happened on that one block of Philly in the last 2 days. I saw someone go and interview the owner of the adult bookstore next door.
Yeah, they did. Like, the defector did, right?
Yeah, and he was like, A, what the fuck? And B, no one's come and bought anything for me. So, like, thanks.
Yeah.
But people have been like going on, like taking selfies in front of the store because that's what we're doing this year.
Man.
It's really weird. Anyway, happy Four Seasons Total Landscaping Day to you too.
Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on yet another stream in the bag. Number 50 is coming on Friday.
Number 50 is coming on Friday. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Are we going to celebrate in some way?
What are we going to do for 50?
I don't know.
We could stream an actual game, a complete game.
We'll do something fun on stream on Friday to celebrate number 50.
Oh man, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
But we could have a Hades race.
Oh, dude. Yes. What's your record so far?
I got that in like 27 minutes.
Okay.
So you probably beat me real good.
I have a 23 run with the gun. The gun is the fastest weapon for me.
You think so? Okay, for you. Mm-hmm.
The problem is the randomness. If you can get Poseidon Dash,
it's all over. Yeah.
Well, the gun is fast and the fists are fast. Would you agree that the fists are fast?
I do agree that the fists are fast, yeah. The shield and the bow are the slowest.
Yeah, I can't play shield. Shield is exhausting, yeah. Even with Chaos Shield, like I maxed it out, I got the 5 shields you throw out. It's still exhausting.
Yeah. What's the hidden shield do?
The Beowulf shield. I don't know. I mean, I can get it, but I just haven't spent the Titan blood.
I don't care about spoilers. Let's see. Oh my god, what the
Dragon Rush. I guess there's like a special bull rush.
It's a totally different moveset.
I don't want to charge up my fucking weapon. I'm not going to charge my weapon.
That's why bow and shield are slow as shit. Yep.
Yeah, I guess with bow, you're just like, what can I get to special the shit out of everybody, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even the homing bow is annoying because you have to shoot people with the arrow first.
I know. I was gonna say I like the homing bow because if you get your special right, it becomes very fast, but also it's a huge bummer.
Okay, so the thing to do with the Chiron aspect that's the homing bow is you get the Daedalus hammer upgrade that like does the fast regular attack.
That's probably great.
Yeah, that's really good.
But anyway, I saw that there is a Hermes circuit where people race Hades against each other.
Oh, so yeah, okay, we can do a Hades race. How are we gonna do that? Can we stream the same thing? Is that Twitch probably can't do that. There's no way. That technologically that is a complicated thing, right?
You're playing on your PC, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you could play on your Mac because it's Steam.
Okay.
And then we could have your PC be the intermediary. I don't know.
So are you saying I would zoom in and Zoom would? Well, I could Discord.
We both screen. Oh yeah, Discord is probably the answer too. But
we could stream on Discord and have a third computer actually stream to Zoom. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I can plug my Switch into my capture card and go from there. Well, we'll think about it. We could just play like a collaborative Hades game too, somehow.
Yeah.
Or some Ghosts multiplayer. I don't know. We got options.
Oh man, Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I'm not got capture cards.
I'm starting to parry in that game because I think you shamed me into doing it. I'm starting to parry a little. It's actually super forgiving. You can just tap the parry button a bunch of times, right?
Yeah. Did you play like Sekiro or? I mean, you played Bloodborne, which had the most bullshit parries in the world. So.
Yes.
It's not Bloodborne.
Okay, yeah. Because I was like thinking it was Bloodborne, where it's like I can't do anything. Bloodborne has the most bullshit parry in the world, right? Like it's every horrible. Weapon has a different timing. It's like a sports car with the tiniest clutch window, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah.
And there's like a tiny window that starts some amount of time after you've pressed the button. Not only that, but you have to line that window up with whatever frame that enemy attack is vulnerable to it in Bloodborne, right?
That's the worst part, right? You've got to wind up and they've got to wind up, and if you miss, don't matter.
Yeah, then half your life is gone, right? What's the benefit of that?
And yet, whenever I manage to get a PS5, I'll probably buy Demon's Souls because I hate myself.
Oh man, I was watching some Demon's Souls PS5 videos and I'm like, I'm not going to play this. I can't do it. It's just...
It looks so pretty. I'll play it with a guide.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. I think the thing about Demon's Souls and the first Dark Souls as well is I love how organic Bloodborne felt, right? It's like twisting passages and the architecture. Like the cities were like it like made sense that it was really fucked up and weird. But like when I play Dark Souls and even more so watching Demon Souls, it's like, okay, this is like very much like Mario level. No, not Mario, not even like it just felt like a video game level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In a way that didn't seem super organic to me.
Bloodborne was truly just stellar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The maze of twisty passages was perfect.
Yeah. I didn't even make it to the maze part. Like, I think
sorry, I just meant the whole game was a maze of twisty passages.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
they really just captured it. It was like going insane very slowly.
No, very much so. Because I got to the part where I killed Rom, the like giant slug thing on like the electric field, and or the vast ocean, infinite ocean. And then I got to that point and I was like, okay, I can't quite continue with this game because it's just wigging me out. But I watched some speed runs, and the game just like progressively gets more and more insane.
Oh yeah,
they capture the kind of like whatever Eldritch means. They nailed it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They nailed it precisely.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Bloodborne was so good. Yeah. Shit.
All right. On Friday then.
On Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.